Heaven Hill, and in a broader context, what a terrific day this is for the bourbon industry, and most specifically for the Bourbon Trail. Now, I see many familiar faces here in the audience before me, all of whom have helped our company, not just over the years, but over the decades. And that kind of support from each and every one of you, including federal, state, and government officials, to those involved in tourism, economic development, other local organizations, and just members of the community, have been collectively responsible for a substantial part of the success that we've achieved over the years. To name every single individual who I see is just simply, we'll be here for an hour or two just doing that. But let me just welcome a few people and recognize a few people. Governor Beshear, thank you for being here today. I know how busy you are, and to take time out of your schedule is most sincerely appreciated. Now, you should know that you're not the first Governor Beshear. Dedicated a facility that your dad did this about a decade ago. In fact, the picture that we have of that dedication is in this visitor center that we just finished constructing.
But this one's bigger, right?
This one's larger. I still observe a comparison though with you. So we're looking at you closely. I also see in the audience our state representatives, Chad McCoy, Senator Jimmy Higdon, who represents us in Frankfurt as well, our Mayor Dick Heaton, County Judge Dean Watts, and Rocky Adams, Senior Advisor to the Governor, as well as Eric Gregory, President of the Kentucky Distillers Association. Also, let me extend a really warm welcome and sincere thank you to Bill Abel, who's here in the audience. He's president of Abel Construction Company, whose company built this facility, and whose commitment to excellence and quality is absolutely unparalleled. Another thank you goes out to Cynthia Torp, founder of Solid Light, CEO of Solid Light as well, who combined creativity, branding, and design vision for this project. You did fabulous work. Finally, to our Heaven Hill team, this never would have happened, this never would have been accomplished without your determination, your desire for excellence, and just plain old-fashioned hard work. Jeff Crow, who's in charge of all of our visitor experiences throughout the state of Kentucky, fantastic job. Susan Waller, our Vice President of our American Whiskey portfolio, fantastic. And Anna Hibbs, our marketing manager for this new visitor center. In addition, everyone from the distillery workers to barrel rollers to our team of bourbon folks I see over there, who are all just passionately committed to excellence. Now let me say a few words about this new Heaven Hill Bourbon Experience. This all started about 2 decades ago when my cousin, Gary Shapira, who passed away, had the vision to create a site in which to engage visitors and tell the story of bourbon and Heaven Hill to visitors all around the country. This finally culminated in 2004 with the opening of the Bourbon Heritage Center. Today, we find ourselves in the midst of a continual, robust expansion that has occurred over this last 2 decades and which appears to be on the cusp of even more growth in the years ahead, not only in the United States, but all around the world. Our family's been involved in this iconic business since the very early parts of the modern inception in 1935, now some 85 years ago. That was when my dad and his 4 brothers, in the middle of the Great Depression, with no production facility, no inventory, no brands, no knowledge of how to operate a distillery, made a very speculative investment in what was a struggling and fledgling enterprise. Fast forwarding It's been a long time since those early days, with numerous starts and stops along the way. But I know how genuinely proud they would be of what we're presenting today. As an aside, I'm not actually so sure that they would be so interested in having their faces on a new brand called Five Brothers. But actually, deep down inside, I think they would understand, knowing the path that they went on to establish a platform for a company that has contributed so much to this great industry. I would be remiss, though, if I did not comment about the larger picture of what actually occurred. Our story really began when my grandfather immigrated to America in the last part of the 19th century. He began life as a peddler, subsequently opened a department store in nearby New Haven, Kentucky, had 5 sons who followed in his footsteps. Then came the Heaven Hill investment, an opportunity seized upon by those 5 sons. So what we are seeing today is a microcosm of how the country was built. Our story was replicated many times in many industries throughout the land, but only in America could this happen. And we are so proud to be a part of that history and heritage. Since breaking ground on the renovation and expansion in 2018, our company, industry, and community have all been tested in ways that we never had anticipated. Today, we honor those values of patience and perseverance as we turn the page to the next chapter of Heaven Hill's story and officially welcome you to our new visitor center. This project represents a $19 million investment in Kentucky's signature industry and is a model for the future of tourism. This project also has been a part of an even larger additional investment by our company over the last 2.5 years of approximately $110 million, including new whiskey production, aging warehouse capacity, and other bottling and equipment upgrades with more to come. Yes, we are bullish on bourbon. Yes, we are bullish on bourbon. As you stroll through the center, I urge you to read some of the family history, heritage, and tradition emanating from those early days, and which has carried us to where we are today. My dad always said that it takes patience and perseverance, and I have said that twice during these comments. To be in this business, and those words help guide us every single day. Browse through the exhibits and telling the rich stories of Elijah Craig and Larceny Bourbons. Note our fabulous bottle and bond collections. Learn about some of the arcane details of how to make great whiskey. And, of course, act as a master distiller might by participating in our hands-on You Do Bourbon activity. We're pleased to have Governor Beshear be the first to actually bottle a bottle of bourbon in the You Do Bourbon activity, and this will happen after the ribbon cutting shortly. I think in total, you're going to find this new space to be interesting, informative, and a tremendous amount of fun. So before we set you loose to enjoy this new Heaven Hill Bourbon Experience, we're going to first hear some words from Governor Beshear, followed by Bernheim Forest Executive Director, Dr. Mark Wourms. We will then conclude with a toast. Can't have an event in bourbon before the official ribbon cutting just outside these doors. So without any further ado, Governor Beshear.
How good does it feel to be here in person? And it's incredible to know that we are going to see people from all over the country and all over the world streaming through this facility once again. Kentucky is fully open, and we are excited. I want to thank Max Max for that kind introduction and for pointing out that this announcement is much bigger than the one with Steve Beshear. But what a day. What an opportunity. What an example of where Kentucky is going and how we are bouncing back. I'm thrilled to be here today to speak with you and to cut the ribbon on Heaven Hill's stunning new visitor center, the Heaven Hill Bourbon Experience. I'm proud to be in the heart of bourbon country to proclaim today National Bourbon Day, and I'm thrilled to be here to congratulate the Shapira family and the Heaven Hill team on another successful project that is investing millions into Kentucky and into our people. As we emerge from this pandemic with our economy booming, or as Moody's likes to say, with gusto, we are announcing more jobs and investments in the Commonwealth every single week, and the bourbon industry is no exception. This state-of-the-art visitor center is going to give people one more great reason to visit Kentucky, to see what an amazing community that this is, and to encourage them to not just visit, but come on down and locate their business right here. The Kentucky Bourbon Trail has never been stronger, and just looking around today shows where we are going. As I mentioned, we're cutting the ribbon on this great project on National Bourbon Day. Although here in the Commonwealth, I'd like to think we have more than one day a year we can call Bourbon Day. I'm a little bullish on bourbon too. So it's National Bourbon Day, and bourbon is, as declared officially in a 1964 Act of Congress, America's native spirit. But we all know, and indeed people the world over know, or need to know, that bourbon's heart and soul lives right here in Kentucky and nowhere else. Bourbon is part of our history, of our heritage. It flows from Kentucky's clear streams and it rises from our limestone aquifers. It purifies, distills, and ages to perfection through Kentucky's master distillers and craftspeople. Kentucky is the birthplace of bourbon, and it remains where 95% of the world's bourbon supply is made. And as that last Governor Beshear would say, I think the other 5% is counterfeit. In as much as anything produced by people can, bourbon represents Kentucky in all of its boldness, and its warm welcome, and yes, in its complexity of character. More than 200 years ago, the great Kentuckian and statesman Henry Clay went to Washington, D.C. During a legendary career, Clay was famous for shipping barrels of his home state's amber elixir to the Willard Intercontinental Hotel, where he held court and relied on Kentucky's bourbon to, quote, lubricate the wheels of government. Chad, I think we could possibly use that sometime. From Clay's time to ours, Kentucky bourbon weathered changing tastes and changing times to achieve its current status as a powerhouse and as a leader in the global spirits industry. These days, bourbon not only lubricates the wheels of government, it has emerged as a major driver of investment and jobs across a variety of sectors. Let's talk about how big bourbon is. Bourbon is an $8.6 billion signature industry in Kentucky. Bourbon provides more than 20,000 jobs in Kentucky, with an annual payroll topping $1 billion. Those are 20,000 Kentucky families, raising their kids, raising their families, able to go home at night with the security of a good job in a flourishing industry. Right now, there are more than 9.1 million barrels aging in the Commonwealth. That is 2 barrels for every living and breathing Kentuckian, and the most ever in the modern era of whiskey making. Before the pandemic hit, bourbon was riding a wave of unprecedented popularity and growth. From 2008 to 2018, the number of distilleries in Kentucky tripled to 68, with the number of Kentucky counties with at least one working distillery quadrupling to 32. Kentucky's whiskey exports rose to record levels, leading all states, we like leading all states, with a staggering $488.6 million. That represents a nearly 330% increase over 2004 sales. Even while COVID took its difficult and devastating toll, disrupting lives and livelihoods everywhere, bourbon remained a beacon of hope, a bright spot In roughly a year and a half since I took office as your governor, Kentucky's spirits industry, I can do it to that beat. Kentucky's spirit industry, which is overwhelmingly comprised of bourbon-related enterprises, has announced plans, this is in the last year and a half alone, for $500 million in capital investments. It's going to create roughly 540 new jobs. This year alone, and this is just through the end of May of this year, Kentucky Spirits Industry has announced $240 million in planned investments that are going to create 164 new jobs. That is amazing news for our Commonwealth, and it shows how important that this moment truly is. In recent years, and with Heaven Hill leading the charge, bourbon has developed a multi-million-dollar tourism industry alongside its already formidable worldwide sales. Bourbon continues to revolutionize the tourism industry by pouring, you gotta like that symbolism, much needed revenue into our local communities. Visitors to distilleries spend between $400 and $1,200 on average during a single trip through bourbon country, and I think we could do a little better than that in the future. More than 70% of these visitors are from outside of Kentucky, truly driving the nation and the world's interest right here. From new distilleries and barrel aging rickhouses to state-of-the-art bottling facilities and innovative tourism centers like this at Heaven Hill, bourbon is helping to lead Kentucky towards new prosperity and an era of leadership in the post-COVID world. That's where we find ourselves, on the cusp of a new era, where our opportunities as Kentuckians, I believe, will be greater than we have ever seen. Where competition from places of density like New York or LA are never as unattractive, have never been as unattractive as they are right now. And so it raises the question to us, why not us? Why not here? Why not now? This can be our time. After 16 months waging a difficult and sometimes deadly war against COVID-19, I think we are on the cusp of an era of incredible prosperity. And I gotta say, after 16 months, I think we deserve it. I do have to say that we are where we are today through the hard work of so many Kentuckians getting us through this pandemic. I truly think when we look back, what we'll credit it is the goodness of who we are. Being willing to live for each other every day. Being willing to make sacrifices and put off things to make good decisions to protect those sometimes that we have never even met. And the reason that we are able to be here today is because of 3 safe and effective vaccines that are now available, at least one of them, to all Kentuckians 12 years old and up. As we stand here today, we have 2.1 million Kentuckians that have already been vaccinated. And I'd ask everybody, if you haven't gotten yours yet, please do. I'll tell you how safe I think these are. My son Will turns 12 tomorrow. And on Wednesday, I'm going to take him to get his vaccine. I care more about he and his sister Lila, who's a little younger, than anything in life. I would give my life for them every day without asking. I believe enough in these vaccines and what they're going to do to protect our people and to protect him, that I'll be taking him to get that vaccine. So please, make sure you and your family get vaccinated so we can defeat this virus once and for all, and we are certainly on that way. And let me say, as we emerge, this economy is beginning to boom. It was last March when Site Selection Magazine said last year, even in one of the most difficult times, thanks to investments like this, Kentucky was #1 in our region in economic development. We were #3 per capita in the country in economic development. We were #1 in every state with under 5 million people. And take away all the per capita, just put us up directly against all those big states. We were #7 in the entire country. And then we saw our people starting to get out and our economy to pick up. In April, we had the best month for sales tax, meaning people are out spending, not since the beginning of the pandemic, but ever. We sold more cars in this last April than have ever been sold, and that's why you can't find a single one on the lot right now. Soon after that, Fitch is one of these big rating agencies, which Mayor, as you know, sets how much, and Judge, we got to pay for borrowing. came out and said our economy was rebounding faster than most states. Moody's came after them and said it's recovering with gusto. And day in and day out, we are announcing new investments and new jobs, and they're everywhere. It was everything from 250 new jobs in Whitley County from an expansion in Firestone so we could serve the electric vehicle market, to a new distillery with new jobs in Fulton County, a place that has not seen enough new jobs in the last several years. And here today just continues that success from an amazing company that has driven jobs in this area and across Kentucky. It takes an industry like bourbon to help lead the way with deep roots in history that is fully committed to Kentucky, and I want you all to know we are fully committed to you. When bourbon is going well, Kentucky is going well. So I want to say congratulations. I mean, look around. Congratulations. If this isn't exciting, if this doesn't get you on your feet excited about where we're going, I don't know what will. This is going to be an amazing ambassador to people coming from all over the world that can see the best of the best from innovation, construction, design, that we can do it right here in Kentucky. So I want to say congratulations to Max. I've never had my face on a bourbon bottle. But we could do that. I want to thank the Shapira family and everybody at Heaven Hill for believing in our Commonwealth, believing in our people, and for giving us this new bourbon experience. With that, Max, if you can come up here, I would like to present you with the official proclamation this year, naming today National Bourbon Day in the Commonwealth. We're going to have to step to the side here. When you're vaccinated, you can stand this close. Sign finish there for you. Thank you all. God bless. What an exciting day.
Governor Beshear, thank you so much for those remarks. Your enthusiasm and support for the industry was self-evident in what you said, and everybody in this room and everybody in our entire industry appreciates that and counts that amongst our most important assets. So thank you very much. Okay, so we have one other individual who's going to speak a bit to us, and it's indeed a pleasure to welcome Mark Wourms, Executive Director of the Bernheim Forest, to be with us today. Creating an environmentally conscious distilled spirits industry is so central to cultivating thriving communities. The communities where we work and live depend on natural resources, and we are committed to cultivating sustainable practices for the resources we use. With this in mind, we, Heaven Hill, have partnered with Bernheim Forest in these efforts, including their new Rites of Passage program, as part of nurturing a new generation of young black men and women in the importance of being stewards of the environment. I would like to invite Mark to come up and tell us a little bit more about the program. Mark.
Thank you all. It's a real honor to be here. Those are tough acts to follow, so I'll be brief. Bernheim Arboretum Research Forest is very proud of the fact that we are a tourism destination along the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. In 2019, when we opened Forest Giants in a Giant Forest, we had 530,000 visitors representing all 50 states and 36 countries. We just opened another art piece this last weekend, Spirit Nest by Jason Pham. It's monumental. It will be a big iconic attraction to the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. We're very excited of playing that family role along this trail, which we all love. But you know, at Bernheim is working with all of those visitors, all of our guests, to help demonstrate and educate sustainable practices. And it's those kinds of things that are important for Kentucky and for the world as we move forward in this changing climate. And I'm so proud of the fact that Heaven Hill has partnered with us with our Rites of Passage program, which is literally taking young men and women and running through heritage programs and history and natural history activities at Bernheim and in Louisville to really say, hey, we can be strong, wonderful, great adults, we can be great citizens, and we can contribute to the economy. And that's really the whole idea of the Rites of Passage, is to give voice to young men and women of African American descent. So we're very proud of that program, but we're also proud that we protect the clean air and the clean water that serves much of the distillery industry in Kentucky. And so as you sip your fine toast today, please remember, it starts with that limestone filtered water, and Bernheim is where it comes from. Thank you all.
Okay. It's a bourbon event. Now it's time for the toast. Are we passing out the appropriate things? Today, we celebrate an industry built upon family and legends, a company built on patience and perseverance, and Kentucky bourbon. Made with quality, made with heritage, all interwoven at each step of the process. Today we toast to welcoming American whiskey fans back to the Commonwealth of Kentucky and to the new Heaven Hill Bourbon Experience. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.